Good morning. Welcome to YouTube devotion for the week. I'm sitting in my shed right now, looking out the window. Compared to yesterday, which was beautiful, today, well, it's pretty grim, it's pretty grey, and there's a mist going right across the fields just behind me. You know, one of the things about mist is that it can look beautiful. However, fog, now there is a different issue. That can cause chaos. Fog can cause chaos to motorways, to shorelines, certainly to travellers. But many people don't realise that it only takes, according to research, half a glass of water to make enough fog and produce enough fog to cover an entire acre of ground. Something really small, but makes a big difference. It's similar to that subject of worry and anxiety. It can wreak havoc in a person's life. We're all tempted at times to worry, and especially at the moment in the world that we live in. And just like a thick fog, it stops travellers in life. We are weighed down with anxiety. Worry can paralyse us. And fear, well, that can make such a mess. The fear of what if? What if it happens to me? Can I do it? What happens to my family? Sometimes we even worry about just being worried. Perhaps that's you today. It's also a very human trait. Maybe that's why Jesus spent so much time when he preached his sermon on the side of a mountain. In front of him was a vast crowd and sea of faces. As he looked at them, Jesus could see their anxiety. He sees their fear. And so he addresses that human state. And he says that all humanists suffer from this at some point in our lives. Doesn't matter what age we are or what background we have, what position we might find ourselves in. Listen to the words that Jesus uses as he talks to those individuals. When much of the ancient world was in panic mode, just like today, he says this: "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father takes care of them. How much more valuable are you to him than them?" Read those words in Matthew chapter 6. But these words could not be more relevant to today, could they? Right now, the world is worried. And worry really is not our friend. However, those words of Jesus give us hope. There's real and genuine hope if we trust in him. Even today, in our greatest difficulty, in our deepest needs and fears and our uncertainties. During the Nazi occupation of Europe, a young Christian teenage girl with the name Corrie ten Boom, along with her family, it is estimated to have saved 800 lives in hiding them in their homes. Eventually, Corrie ten Boom and her family were caught. She was sent to Ravensbrück concentration camp. Corrie survived the horrors of that camp. However, none of her family did. In an interview a number of years later, Corrie was asked, how do you cope with such a period of your life, with so much uncertainty? In reply, she said this: "When you're faced with the unknown, fear and worry doesn't empty you of tomorrow's sorrows. It empties you of today's strength." It's unlikely you and I are ever going to face what Corrie ten Boom did all those years ago. However, in today and right now, perhaps you're watching the disturbing world news. Maybe you are hearing about the pandemic. Maybe you are right now self-isolated and you are fearful of the uncertainty. Anxiety and worry is starting to sap you of your strength and your resilience. But don't give up. There is hope. There's one who cares for you, a heavenly Father. It's been said that it takes the same amount of energy to worry as it does to pray. One leads to peace, the other leads to panic. Today, you need to choose wisely. Why don't you come before that God who cares for you and ask him to help you through this day, and look at the blessings he's given you. Hold on. Hear his word, for he loves you. I hope the peace of God that passes all understanding will keep your heart and your mind safe in him this day and in the coming days.